Nah, what's up, y'all? I want to welcome you back to Root TV. Okay, if you didn't watch the first video, cut this video off and go back and watch the first one. I'm covering how I am now it's newly, quote unquote, because it's been a couple months, but unemployed from my first career job out of Albany. So I don't want to indulge or like bore you guys with like the work that I did, because I was in social work and I could say it's like anything but boring. Dealing with the different clients, there was always something going on, like always. But I feel like me explaining it would be like just briefly go over, and then I'm just gonna talk more so about the incident in which led to my termination. Did you like the video yet? I don't know. Did you? This is your time. This is your time to click that like button and subscribe if you haven't done that. Thank you. I'm not gonna say the name of the organization, although I would love to save some people in the social work field. If you hit me up on the side, just ask me and I'll let you know. Don't ever work for this org. So I graduated Albany in December of 2016, and then I got my first career job in social work in February of 2017. Initially, I loved my job. I loved helping people. I was working with the homeless population when I first got into the program. I was more so of an assistant instead of an actual case manager at the time, and then I got promoted about 6 months down the line, and I had my own caseload by then, and so, you know, I was in the groove of things. I loved helping people find their own apartments. Such a different perspective for me. I looked at life with more gratitude, if I can say that. I moved around a lot as a child, and I'm just grateful that I never ended up like dead homeless or in like a foster care situation. So that definitely changed my outlook on life. Seeing people actually move in from, they might have been street homeless, like literally riding the trains or hopping from place to place, or even in the shelter. So it was such a beautiful thing to see people actually move into their own place and not have to worry about their basic needs of like what they're gonna eat, where they're gonna take a shower, like where they're gonna lay their head, if it's a safe environment for them, you know, like overall all of those things just get lifted off. And then now they can focus on like secondary things like finding a job. Moving forward, that program closed probably 8 months later. So then I got moved into a different department, which was care coordination. Care coordination was more so a job you wore many hats in. So I helped people with housing, I helped connect them to therapy services, Medicaid, Social Security, just made sure that they were connected to different services that they needed at the time. Growing into my new position took some time because it was way more work aside from just finding housing. So I had to like find a way to get organized, and once I got my actual like foot through that, I felt like, okay, this is a good pace for me. I know these people now, I know how I can service them accordingly. It was a way smoother process. Fast forward to 2020, started working remotely, I believe the end of February. You know, everything was like really weird. Everyone was kind of panicking because we didn't know what the hell this new virus was. May is when the George Floyd thing happened, and then May is also when we were transitioning into a new management. I don't really want to touch on this, but I do feel like it affected my mental health, because watching the video, I literally couldn't do anything but cry. Like, I just felt so hopeless and helpless. Anyone who was there and they couldn't invade or intrude what was going on, they would have been killed themselves or arrested or something negative, you know what I mean? So to really just sit there and watch this man die before our eyes was just, it was wild. That was wicked. June, we had the new management, like it was set. They came in and they just kind of shook things up a little bit. Like everybody had got a new caseload, and I had 30 whole new people. So these were people I had to call, I had to find out who they were, I had to like, just everything new with 30 new people. Aside from that, I felt very overwhelmed. It was just like coronavirus, then George Floyd, then the actual job just making me miserable. Like it was points where I was literally waking up and just like bawling, crying, because I didn't want to clock in. I didn't want to do this anymore. Like I just felt like so disconnected from my work, and on top of that my supervisors kept switching. It was just like a downhill spiral after a while. I was expressing that I was feeling like overwhelmed. I was expressing that I felt anxious, and then on top of that, in July they wanted us to start going back out into the field. So I don't want to use this as an excuse, but this is honestly just how I felt. Like, we work with mental health, these mental disabilities like schizophrenia, bipolar, personality disorders, anxiety, like really intense anxiety, really intense depression. Sometimes they just don't communicate well. It just wasn't sitting well with me that we had to go back into the field, and then on top of that we had like 30 new people, a half new caseload, and I didn't know half of these people. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm not doing it. I'm gonna acknowledge that I did not go out. I got a write-up for not going out as much. We were supposed to go see maybe 15 people a week. I probably seen 6 people in total for the month. I'm not gonna lie, that was just how I was moving. Coming to August 2020 now, and just so that they wouldn't be on my back, August I bust out everything. Like, I went to go visit, I made my visits, I made my contacts, I called everyone, and I requested my vacation at the beginning of August. Very beginning, like the first week. And we have to request it at least 2 weeks in advance, and I requested it 4. Time is going on, I'm noticing that no one's approved my vacation. I'm noticing that, like, you know, days are going by, we're getting closer to the end of August, and I'm asking my supervisor like, hey, you know, I did request a vacation, I'm wondering why it hasn't been approved. She then tells me that the director informed her, I guess, that I wouldn't be able to take my vacation unless all my work is done. If you know you work in social work with caseloads, your work is never completely done. And then they just kept I don't want to revisit these times. The way that they treated us, like, they kind of talked down to us. Like, I am 27 years old. I'm not a child. So the type of condescending tones that they would talk to us in is just like, who are you talking to? Without us, without these care managers, y'all ain't shit. Like, y'all not gonna get anything done. So you would think that they would want to treat us with the utmost respect, since we're the ones actually going out to do the work. No, they talk to us like children. The repercussions that we get for maybe, like, you know, trying to stand up for ourselves was beyond me. Like, we were getting write-ups, we were pulled into different meetings with high management for nothing, like, you know. And it's just kind of intimidating when you get to a point where you don't feel like you need to talk to them anymore, because it's like anything I say to you is really just going in one ear and out the other. No one's actually supporting me. At the end of the day, you're telling me the work still has to get done. I got to a point where I didn't give any shits. Like, I don't care about this job anymore. Y'all can do whatever, y'all can say whatever, I don't care. I'm gonna do what I want to do. That's the point that I had got to in that job. My attitude changed completely. Like, it was nasty. It was very nasty, and I'm glad to be out of there because I'm no longer in a negative space where I feel like I need to be nasty to everyone. So they never approved my vacation. The day before, so this is what really set me off. Like, I really did everything that I was able to do. They didn't approve it because I had about 5 people who didn't have a 3rd attempt. Out of 45 people I had on my caseload, I didn't have 5 people with a 3rd attempt. So they had 1 attempt, they had 2 attempts, but they didn't have another one. And this was the day before I was leaving, so I wasn't able to finish that, and my supervisor did not help me. So they said I can't go, and my flight was already booked. I was ready to go, so I said, I'm not gonna be in from this day to this day, thank you. Now, where I did go wrong is I didn't come back when I was supposed to. So I was out for a week, and then I took an extra week to come back because I couldn't do it. Like, I just didn't want to go back. I didn't want to have to deal with the people. I didn't want to have to deal with anything. They let me come back one day, let me work. The next day they suspended me for 1 day, and then still expected me to have all my work done within the following week. They only suspended me to really, like, put the protocol in, like, write up, suspension, and then termination. Like, they wanted to follow procedure basically. And when they suspended me, I literally lost my mind on the phone with them, because it was more so of, y'all only suspended me for 1 day because y'all want me to have all this other work done and y'all don't want to do it. And, you know, this is just like a waste of my time. Cursed them out, didn't care. Let me work the rest of the 2 weeks. October 2nd, I was done. And so when I called, they were just like, yeah, you're terminated, yada yada yada. Once we got off that Zoom call, the tears of relief were just like flowing down my face. I was so happy. I've never been so happy to be fired from a job before. Like, oh my God. So since October 2nd, I have been unemployed. I've had way more time to get my mind right, get my thoughts together, way more time to just hone into myself, and I love it. It's a lot of up and down still, trying to figure out like what my next move is and like what I'm gonna do. But overall, I think that I'm just so happy that I don't have to deal with working for someone else at this moment. Like, I'm working on several different ways where I can be self-employed, like not have to worry about when this unemployment runs up if I'm gonna have to find another job again. Like, that's done. It's clipped. I don't like being talked down to, and not to say that every job does that, but authority figures tend to have this power trip. I don't even want to have to deal with that.
I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets. Sing, children. I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets. I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets, cause ain't nobody got time for that.
I'm such a calm, chill person, and I was just waking up mad, waking up sad and miserable, and going through the day like having to think about, oh my God, this job is stressing me the fuck out. People talking down to me on top of that, and then it's like no one's trying to give me a break. So like I said earlier, it's a lot of up and down thoughts. I feel like SZA. But 20-something ain't got shit, don't own nothing, and nothing's in my name but bills. Like, you know, I had to talk with one of my close friends, two of my close friends, and told them, you know, like, I feel like a lot of, and I know you shouldn't compare, I feel like I'm jumping all around, but I know you shouldn't compare your life to anyone else's. However, my friends, I feel like each one of them had something to call their own, you know what I mean? Like, a few of them have cars, a few of them have their own place, some of them have both, you know, and then I'm just here like no car, no place, just vibing. I don't want to dwell in that, but I do think about it, and I think those thoughts really was like starting to kind of project my way of thinking and way of moving, like what type of actions I'm doing, what I choose to do now instead of certain things. Like, you know, I've had a great 3 months to really just kind of chill and think and kick back, but now it's like, okay, what are you gonna do, Rudy, and how are you gonna do it, and you have this amount of time to get it done. I'm trying to do that without being super hard on myself, but knowing that I have a time frame that I need to get this stuff out of the way and done so that I can be comfortable and I don't have to go back working for the man. Period.
I would never send me back to the strip club because I'm not going back.
So if you like this video, if you feel like you could relate to it, definitely leave a comment in the comment section and let me know if you've also been fired, if you had shitty supervisors and managers that were making your life miserable at work, if you quit, if you found new ventures, moved to a new job. I know a lot of us can relate to working for the man and it being some bullshit. So definitely leave a comment, thumbs up if you like this video, if you was able to relate. Definitely subscribe, because if you haven't done that, then what are you waiting for? Like, hello. And you were tuned in to Root TV, so thank you very much, and we out of here.